Just as human rights should be enjoyed by every individual, women and girls with disabilities should not be excluded from this standard and development norms. On this part, this population has suffered most and it has increased their vulnerability. Women and girls with disability have experienced several discrimination in the aspects of abuse, gender-based violence, and of course marginalization. Women and girls with disability have not enjoyed full rights on an equal basis compared to other population. I'm Omotayo Omotola Eunice, media officer for Lawyers Alert. And today on our another edition of Thursday live stream, we have with us a barrister, the founder of Voice with Disability Initiative, Barrister Ede Catherine Chiere. She's one of the PWD population. Therefore, we have with us an interpreter. She's going to be helping us to ensure we get correct and accurate information. We have with us Mrs. Bukumi Adejumo. For now, we would like to welcome Barrister Chiere. Barrister Chiere, thank you for honoring our invitation. Our audience would like to meet you, get to know what you do and how you do it.
Thank you very much. My name, as you have rightly said, is Barrister Catherine Ede. I am a deaf person, as you can see, but today I am a lawyer because I am strong and I refuse to allow the misconceptions of the society to define who I am. I am always trying to set my own principle, my rule, and believe in myself that nothing can stop me except myself. And that's the rule that has always led and governed me until where I am today. I am the CEO of Voice of Disability Initiative. Voice of Disability Initiative was established in 2015 to fight for the rights of persons with disabilities, especially women and girls with disabilities. Because when you enter into community, when you go into community of persons with disability, you see that most people that face discrimination, not only double but multiple discrimination, are women. Discrimination on the basis of disability and also discrimination on the basis of their gender. We face discrimination from the society. We also face discrimination from our male folks within the disability community. And also the external society generally. Because of this, VDI, Voice of Disability Initiative, decided that as we fight for the general community of persons with disability for their inclusion, our emphasis and focus should be more on women's rights. Because as you see me as a woman with disability, we know the challenge that we have to pass through daily before we get to where we are, and I am strong enough to overcome them. So I need to fight for other women who cannot stand on their own. We work in collaboration with them to help to reduce the challenges and create more access for them.
You are strong indeed. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. It's nice to meet you once again. Mrs. Bukumi, our audience would like to meet you, tell them what you do and how you do it.
Okay. My name is Bukumi Adejumo. I am a sign language interpreter. I stand in gap between the hearing community and the deaf people to bridge the communication gap. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bukumi, and thank you for this wonderful thing you are doing with us today. Ms. Catherine, how has your challenges affected you career-wise, especially as a legal practitioner?
Thank you. I must confess, firstly, that it is not everybody that will go out of their way to compress or pose hindrances to people with disability. There are many that will go out of their way to ensure that access is there for persons with disability, inclusion is there, reasonable accommodation is there for persons with disability. I wasn't born deaf. I became deaf at my primary school through the effect of injection, a chloramphenicol injection. Though I overcame it, I survived it, and I cheated death, and I'm still alive today. Now, after I became deaf, there are different challenges that I have faced as I continue my studies. My family before that time don't know what a deaf can do or what a deaf can achieve. They thought that it's a newly found situation in life and it has put an end to my being somebody in life, but I didn't share that view. I struggled through to finish my primary school. I went to a commercial school because there was a plan to sponsor me through secondary school. I missed my common entrance exam, so the only option was commercial school. So I took the commercial school, and after graduating from there, I went to Federal College of Education Special, or YO. As it was there, I came to meet other deaf persons like me. I even saw a deaf studying law at University of Ilorin. I saw a deaf person studying medicine at the University of Ilorin. I saw different kind of deaf people. I became amazed and I asked myself, if these are deaf people and they can achieve this in university and the university can give them admission without discrimination, then what is stopping me? So the little success of others was a challenge for me, and it has to put me to do my best. So when I was in my 200 level, I wrote UTME again. I applied to study law. Because I couldn't make it that time. I was told I have to first finish my NCE. And secondly, I am new to the deaf world. I have to understand the psychology of deafness, psychology of living in the disabled community before I decide which discipline I have to go and face in life. So I decided to let that live. I wrote JAM again. Then I was in 300 level first semester. By the time it was second semester, I already gotten admission into University of Ilorin to study law, and I was still in FCE Oyo. So why am I bringing this issue in? Because many parents of disabled children don't allow them to join disabled communities. They try to segregate them, keep them at home, believing in some church that the society gathered around about persons with disabilities. The narrative that are around in the society, without knowing that they are killing the potential of that deaf or disabled children. So after entering FCE Oyo, meeting a lot of persons with disability in this group opened my eyes that if these people can do this, I can. I challenged myself. I got admission even before I finished in that college of education to study law. And towards writing my final year project, I managed to complete the project and also at the same time process my registration in University of Ilorin. So when I completed the project, I faced the University of Ilorin squarely. Today I am a lawyer because there are many people in the society that will go out of their way to make things work for persons with disability. And University of Ilorin is one of the institutions that is very disabled friendly in Nigeria. I must confess that University of Ilorin tried their best. There are sign language interpreters provided. Anytime the school resumes, I just get the timetable I take it to the deaf center in the University of Ilorin and submit it there. There are sign language interpreters there. Every deaf student in the University of Ilorin brings their schedule and they share the lecture among the interpreters. And the persons that coordinate the center must be a professor. That is the rule at the University of Ilorin. There was a former professor there during my time, and the person is the deputy VC at the University of Ilorin presently. So the type of respect that they have for persons with disability, the deaf students, the disabled students. So once you submit your schedule, they share the work, they share the responsibility. Anytime I have lecture in the morning, I don't need to run around looking for interpreters. I just go straight to my lecture room. Then the interpreter already has my schedule. He knows that I have lecture that same morning. So the interpreter will just come to the class to meet me. And in the lecture room, I sit on the first row. I sit in the first row facing the front of the lecture room, while the interpreter sits directly opposite. Whatever the lecturer is saying, the interpreter also repeats in sign language. If a question is asked, I respond also. And though there are challenges, because University of Ilorin doesn't write notes on board, it is oral discussion. So it is not everything that we get through sign language. And sign language too can be somehow confusing. And there is another thing that is popular at the University of Ilorin, especially in the Faculty of Law. We call it impromptu tests. We can finish lecturing now and they will give us a test based on what the lecturer just gave that day. And or maybe the interpreter came late, myself came late, they will start in between, we may not know what to answer. And also when an interpretation is confusing that day, it becomes a challenge. But I didn't give up. I finished University of Ilorin and I got admission into law school. There was no interpreter there. But once you pass through University of Ilorin, you will never get the same again. The types of challenges, the types of training that it gives you from university, you will be successful in life. So when I got into law school, they don't have interpreters. I am already a good person, thankful to the University of Ilorin. I approached the law school requesting for interpreter. I introduced myself as a deaf person without fear of being disqualified on the ground of my deafness. Because I know I will always stand and defend myself. That's the type of training I got from the University of Ilorin, the confidence I got to approach the law school. Though there were some little challenges and drawbacks, but finally I was provided with the sign language interpreter with the support of the Student Representative Council in that law school. The law school was responsible to pay for the interpretation service throughout my time. Then I became a member of the Washington Fellow. But anyway, I see that there is accessibility, there is inclusion. I tried my best to utilize the opportunity to help myself to become a better version of myself.
What a story. I actually shared some part of your story because I'm a graduate of the University of Ilorin too. But for you to have come out this well, yes, for you to have come out this well, you are really strong, and I'm proud of that. Moving forward, I would like to ask you, globally, what will you say the rate of literacy among women and girls with disability is compared to other population?
Very, very low. And this is because of too many challenges and barriers the society has placed in their way. They have failed to understand the uniqueness of persons with disability, especially women with disability. And there are many myths that govern disability, especially in Africa. And a lot of people until today still go about with that same type of misconception. When you see a woman with disability, the first thing they will always take note of is sex objects. Most time you see women with disability at the age of 60 or below the age of 20 with already a lot of children, no husband. If you ask them, where is your husband? I am not married. Those children, how did you come by them? They are mine. How? Because they are always taking advantage of them. They are sexually exploiting them. Severally, not once, not twice, but severally. At the age of 20, or they are about 20 years, they are already a mother. Maybe when they were supposed to be a graduate in future. So this will affect their education. How can a woman with disability be a mother and at the same time have time and the resources to pursue education? Is very, very challenging.
She has actually explained so much challenges that people, women and girls with disability face, and indirectly or directly, this has caused low rates of literacy among this population. I would like to ask, what do you think government and private individuals can do to ensure there is equality for women and girls with disability?
Thank you. First, we have to start with calling the attention on the Disability Act in Nigeria now. The problem with us in Nigeria is not about making laws, legislation or policies. No, but the problem with Nigeria as a country is implementation. We have many laws, but how well are we implementing? Now we have the Disability Commission. The problem is that there is not enough funding. If we have the Disability Commission, please make effort to fund it and empower it to stand strong and fight for the rights of people with disabilities. When the commission is weakly funded and the funding is small, how will it stand? Nigeria is a country with millions of people. We have a population of over 200 million people in Nigeria. Now it means we have more than 20 million people with disability in Nigeria. So with the little funding for the commission, how will the commission be able to cover all the 36 states and FCT properly? Apart from funding the commission, there may be organizations, civil society organizations, local and international organizations like VDI, that's my organization, like Lawyers Alert, like many other organizations. How many times have federal government or state government collaborated with them? Disability issue is such that we have to have an in-depth experience in it before you can effectively know how to solve the challenges. State government, federal government, in whatever capacity cannot jump and start saying they can solve the challenges alone without collaborations with other experienced organizations like us. So we have to identify different organizations with different challenges. No same person with disability has the same challenges. Our challenges are different. So as organizations like this, we have already been mainstreaming. We have already been trained in disability issues. Like myself, I studied special education during my NCE. I mastered everything about disability and I went for law. I mastered everything about the rights and I went for Mandela Washington Fellow and I had a disability center training locally and internationally. I mastered a lot of things about disability, inclusion, and accommodation. Now, government should watch and identify organizations like that, not just organizations but professionals, and work together with them, and not that you start to talk how government solve problems through inclusive education. Yes, through inclusive education you can, but how do you implement that inclusive education? You can't implement properly except you work collaboratively with professionals. You try to identify different professionals and organizations working in this type of area, collaborate with them, and then they will start identifying different challenges, and now they will be able to solve those challenges.
Thank you so much. Talking about women and those with disability, what would you like to say in 2 or 3 sentences, or what do you think, or how do you think full and equal participation can be ensured?
I would like to say that
for
donor organizations,
if I give them grants,
if they were giving grants,
note of organizations,
take note of organizations like Voice of Disability Initiative, take note of government organizations like the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities
to have grants
that has to have grants, form partnership with these types of organizations. Recently, I was at Yola, where my organization is trying to implement a project, and the project was on women with disability. The type of experience we had with the women in Yola, the stories, you will shed tears. Some of them are HIV positive,
have kids,
some have children, and they are still breastfeeding them, but not on medication, because they lack access to information because of their level of education, and at the same time they are sexually exploited repeatedly. Anytime they find themselves pregnant, they get infected with different kind of diseases, and they will not know what to do about it. The vulnerability is high.
The chances
of them surviving is low.
More support.
They needed more support, and often cannot do a lot of things on their own. But when they see people like me, people like our organizations that are passionate to support and help bring them up to be a better version of themselves, they become inspired. They feel the need to belong. So they feel you have more experience to inspire them, and you encourage and motivate them.
It has been such a great time with you, Barrister Catherine. Going forward, lawyers are not to look forward to a world where women and girls with disability are fully participated in every areas. And we are also calling on everyone to give access to persons with disability. Disability rights matters. Women and girls with disability rights matters. They should be given a chance to prove themselves. Let us stand up and support women and girls with disability. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this episode. It's been a great time.
And please respect us always. It costs nothing to love and respect
women with disabilities.
You heard that. Till next time, stay safe. Bye.